Good morning, students. History, standard 9th, education. Today, we will see how the education scenario started developing. In the previous lecture, we saw that education in India or census of first independent India 1951 tells us that only 17% people were literate. Now, stress was given on education, and this education, as we see, slowly started to take root. For that, certain rules, regulations were made, changes were brought about according to the constitutions, and a child labor was totally banned. Children of 6 to 14 group were not allowed to work anywhere. So instead, they are now being provided a chance for fair education. This is first. After that, we also saw that in the name of example of Anutai Bagh and Tarabai Modak, that certain experiments were carried out at Rosbagh in district Thane, and in that way, certain experiments which proved to be beneficial for the smaller children were accepted by the government from time to time. That is for nursery, primary classes, and so on. Also, one room school converted into 2 rooms and slowly started to develop with the increasing numbers of the students. Now we will see regarding the secondary education. The base of primary education was somewhat now on the mode or method of settlement. People started accepting school learnings, sending their students. So naturally, step by step, or with the natural growth, from primary, the students now started to shift towards middle school, higher education also. So secondary education was given a specific methodology, we can say, and this came into being under the leadership of the then first Education Minister of India, Abul Kalam Azad. In 1952-53, University Education Commission was set up under the guidance of or under the leadership of Abul Kalam Azad, the first education minister. And because that was the beginning, a new trend was given, that was, as we call it, 11 plus 1 plus 3, that is 10. Instead of 10, 11 was the exam of the board, then 1, that is 12th standard, and after that 3 years for graduation, BA, BCom, BSc, at the most we can understand accordingly. So education will be of 15 years, but was divided into school up to 11, higher school 1 year, that is 12, and then college life, we call it university, that is 3. So this pattern came into being all over India and slowly settled down. That was also the time of culmination, mixing up of many things, which become the part and parcel of one's life. And so the methodology of teaching, that is the commission suggested, the same commission suggested, nature of curriculum, what is to be taught, which subjects, what lessons, how, on this one. Even going deeper into studies, we can come to know that during the blackboard operation, every school must have a map, every school must have a blackboard, every school must have certain photographs, pictures, which will demonstrate in a better way to the students what exactly they want. That means these things were not available. Neither the map, nor the globe, nor practical labs. So suggestions were made, and according to the suggestions, financial assistance was provided. And in this way, slowly, the education started taking grip in India. Percentage of the educated persons now started to increase. After or during 1966, Maharashtra, that is 1st of January 1966, Maharashtra State established Maharashtra State Board of Secondary and Higher Secondary Education, Board for Education of Secondary and Higher Secondary education was established in Maharashtra, that is Pune. Today, this board is responsible for the curriculum we are learning right now, up to 10th and 12th. Students, whatever learn is according to the syllabus provided. Definitely, they also have the committees of learned persons, and these committees suggest what is to be taught. They also suggest why, how, and accordingly, teachers try their best to provide it to the students. But on 1st of January 1966, Maharashtra State established Maharashtra State Board of Secondary and Higher Secondary Education Pune. And this was for the classes up to 10 and 12. Keep it in mind. First we study about 11 plus 1 plus 3. Now we are entering into 1966. And this syllabus or this board was set up for conducting the exams for 10th and 12th. So these are named, even today we call them board exam. And the same institute is also responsible for publishing a periodical, that is with a specific time period, a periodical called Shikshan Sangam. This is something, a periodical एक मासिक आहे जो प्रत्येक शाळेला दिल्या जातो, प्रोव्हाइड केला जातो. And it tells each and everything in details regarding the change in the rules, regulations, question format, teaching, syllabus, whatever the changes the new education system has to accept, to adapt. Guidelines are provided through Shikshan Sangam. So this is something of utmost importance and is even continuing till today. After that, we have to study Kothari Commission at the national level in 1964. Dr. B.S. Kothari and J.P. Naik were combined, comes together, and under the leadership of Kothari, so known as Kothari Commission, was established in 1964. It became an integral part. It became one of the most important commission for today's examination centers. Why is it so? We will try to understand. Dr. B.S. Kothari and J.P. Naik suggested certain changes, that is 11 plus 1 plus 3. 15 years span remain the 15 years span only. 15 years time allotment for graduation remain the 15 years time only, but it was changed to 10 plus 2 plus 3. That is 10, 10 plus 2, 12 plus 3, college, that is university level. BA first year, second year, final. We call it first year F1, then FY, SY, and final year. So this is how the new change was. It was not only up to that. The basic structure of education now started to be shuffled. That was also because of the experience that we had. And according to the experience, one of the most important criteria suggested by Kothari Commission was use of mother tongue. We are in Maharashtra, so Marathi. If part of Gujarat, Gujarati. If part of Karnataka, Kannada. Tamil Nadu, Telugu, or Madhya Pradesh, Hindi. So mother tongue was to be used. Along with it, second, national language, Hindi, and then international language, English. English is spoken all over India, and being an international language, was made compulsory for each and every school. In Maharashtra today, we have all these three languages. Because in Maharashtra, we have mother tongue Marathi. Because in Maharashtra, we have mother tongue Marathi. If it's a Hindi medium school in Maharashtra, if it's a Hindi medium school, definitely Hindi and then state language. So instead of Hindi, we can suggest state language or national language. If the state language is Hindi itself, then along with Hindi, some other language. But three languages become an integral part of the school. In Maharashtra, along with Hindi, there are certain schools which also jointly or combinedly accepts Sanskrit. So Hindi and Sanskrit makes a complete paper. In this way, three languages were suggested by Kothari Commission, made the compulsory language. They also suggested adult education. The people who are above the age or people who cannot be a part of school now but wants to study must also be provided the first hand education. So, adult education was also suggested. Distance education, this is something which is going on even today and in a better way in India. Distance education means instead of going directly to the universities or to the colleges, to the centers of education, postal exchange can be carried on. And accordingly, some centers, even in Apollo we have these centers, some centers were open all over India at the district places, from where distance learning education programs started. On Doordarshan's education channel, Gyan Darshan, this education of distance education program plays a vital role, an important role. Also, this is because people at a specific age have to join work. They cannot complete their studies, but they have that instinct to carry on studies. They want to be a learned person. Because of joining of the work, maybe government duty or private sector, whatever it is. But because of that, after 10, after 12 or after any class, they cannot join the further studies. These further studies now can be provided to the person who wants to carry on his education. And accordingly, certain subjects were given priority. These subjects started at the centers, and these centers were opened at district levels as contact centers. From there, after filling up the form, or can say that after taking the admission, studies started on one's behalf. That is, a person who becomes a student of distance learning will carry on his own study, but the material will be provided by the center. And whatever the discussions as they need will be in written format posted to the center, and guidance will be provided from the center in return. This is what we call it as distance learning. After that, one more important change that was given was Open University. Open University is something which is too close to the distance learning. But distance learning is totally dependent on postal exchange. In Open University, students can take place, admission can be placed for higher education. It is equivalent to other universities. People who are engaged in activities or works rather cannot be a part of regular university, everyday college life, but wants to carry on the education. And also, the education is necessary for them to carry on in a higher sense. For these people, Open University was suggested. Indira Gandhi took a lead. She was very interested in the opening of the Open University. And that is why the first Open University of India was established in the name of Indira Gandhi, because at that time she was assassinated. And it became Indira Gandhi National Open University. And we call it today IGNOU. So this IGNOU, established in the name of Indira Gandhi National Open University, becomes an important part today. Is working all over India. There are many universities, open universities now. In Maharashtra we have Yashwantrao Chauhan Maharashtra Mukta Vidyapit, having its head center headquarters at Nasik. So also from Pune we have Lokmanya Tilak Maharashtra Mukta Vidyapit. This is at the national level. Two universities are working at the state level in Maharashtra. Along with that, we also find certain universities that are dedicated for the development of agriculture. For example, Dr. PDKV, that is Dr. Panjabrao Deshmukh Krishi Vidyapit Akola. Vidyapit means university. So these universities were established, and higher education was given a stream, a line through which now in the coming days, that is we are studying from 1964 onwards. So from there onwards, a specific guidelines were provided for higher education. This higher education started blooming, and then at the same time certain cares were to be taken, of which we will come to know that SC and STs were to be given priority in education. Many of the financial assistance were provided to these students so that they will take part in educational process. So for SCs and SCs, scholarship programs, special schools, apart from that, some other innovatives were suggested, which were accepted by the government. And in this way, it all started. As per the Kothari Commission, that is the 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern, we come to know that, so in Maharashtra, in 1972, the pattern was accomplished. That is, in a natural growth, it started, and first SSC batch started or come out according to the question paper pattern of MSBHS HSE, that is Maharashtra State Board of Secondary and Higher Secondary Education, Pune, in 1975. So 10 batch in 1975, naturally 12, that is plus 2, HSC as we call it, and in 1977. So this is how the educational system started to gain momentum. This is how the educational system of Maharashtra or even in India had its base. Along with these schools now started, and these schools were in two forms. One directly under the guidance of the government, as we call it a government school. Then local self-government were also given the chance for education of spreading the education. So जिल्हा परिषद शाळा, पंचायत समितीची शाळा, नगरपालिकेची शाळा, नगरपंचायतची शाळा and महानगरपालिका. Ground level, local self-government also played a role in particularly primary education. But because of this, the burden on the state government, on the national government somewhat was reduced. Population started to increase, population started to take care about providing education to their students. So private schools were also some. And today we find that many of the private schools are doing their best. These schools have the permission from the government but are not financially aided. So they gather some fees, tuition fees from the students, from the parents of the students, of which is divided among the teaching staff, the building and all the necessary amenities that are being provided. The fund is released for that by the school management, and in this way the working of the school goes on efficiently. But private and government, both the schools started taking education to the grassroots level. After the primary, after the middle school, after the higher school, we also see that there was adult education. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is now being introduced. Also the distance learning education, we also call it the postal education, and open university. After the completion of MA, MBA or some other technical, professional or any degree, one can, after joining the service, turn towards open university or distance education and accomplish the another degree, which is equivalent to the university as we see. Education also becomes a time consuming, and because of that, with the introduction of service sector or students moving towards the service because of the responsibilities they have, the family or other matters, they join the services, whatever it is, may it be the military or government jobs as we call them, or even private sector, but carry on their education. And in that way, this, the adult education, the distance education, the open university education plays a major role. Yashwantrao Chauhan Maharashtra Mukta Vidyapit was the first open university opened in Maharashtra for the Marathis or Maharashtrians. At the national level, Indira Gandhi National University, IGNOU as we call it, Open University, was the first university, and after that it started to spread. But according to the Kothari Commission that provided a major transformation in the education system even today as we are following it, played a major role in the establishment of 10th and 12th, that is SSC and HSC batches. First SSC batch came into being in 1975, followed by it as a 12th batch in 1976. The objectives of the same commission, that is Kothari Commission, now were and safeguard the education system, what exactly the syllabus must be, how the education process should go on, and what the lessons must contain or the books must contain. One, first stage was given on modernization. Without modernization, science and technology cannot be accepted. And this tagline became an integral part of new syllabus the Maharashtra government provided to us. So modernization was accepted. At the same time, social and national integration, unity of the nation plays a major role. So, right from beginning, students are provided such stories that they will accept the universality, the variation, विविधता. भारतातली विविधता जी आहे त्यात एकताचा अंश व संदेश देण्याचा प्रयत्न झाला. And this diversity was brought together in unity of the nation. Most important was social, moral, spiritual values. Social, because we live in a society. Moral values, that is the ethics which provides us the better living standard, honesty as we call it at the most, and spiritual according to our religion. Definitely is omniverse as we call it, God Almighty. And this, since the small age, since the beginning, that is first standard onwards, value education was provided or is provided. This value education gives an instinct in the mindsets of the children, and they try to understand the importance of the universe. Panch Mahabhut as we call it, the spirituality plays a major role. And when it is being taught to a child in a very small age, young age, it becomes a part of his life. The same ideology is carried out by the students. After that, education and productivity. Only providing education in verbal form can never give an output. So productivity. For example, technical institute, ITI. IIT is another part. ITI after 10th standard. Or MCVC. MCVC, vocational education system, was introduced in Maharashtra. So productivity becomes an integral part. That is, after 10th or 12th, after completing IIT or MCVC, at the young age, student can get job opportunities. And the sector, the biggest sector that provides job opportunity to these students is MIDC, Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation. All these things are going hand in hand. MIDC was established after 1960 because Maharashtra itself came into being in 1960. So, in this way, the productivity of the students started to outcome. And after that, securing and strengthening democracy is also very important. When we study civics, when we study history, or when we study the languages, the stories that are being put forth, the education that is being provided through these subjects is something which binds all Indians as an Indian. All Indians are one. And the value of political setup tells us that one man, one vote, one vote, one man. Neither rich nor poor, nor bias, gender bias, that is male or female, nor Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Sikh, Isai. All these names of religions have no importance in government language. Not studying about secularism, but studying about democracy. This democracy started to be an integral part from the languages or from the studies since primary. And that is why students, as they grow up, they have certain ideas in their mindsets. And they favor only and only democracy. They do not have other ideas of the government form. And in democracy, all Indians are treated one and the same. So naturally, because of this, the people who started coming together, now created a generation after the education process, creates a generation which accepts the universality, जी विविधता आहे भारतातली ती स्वीकारण्याची त्यांची मानसिकता आहे. For this, since child age, the students are being taught purposefully, and because of this, the students once they learn it, keeps into their mind and try their best to put it into practice. This is where the instinct of democracy in India is secured also and strengthened also. Democracy in India is becoming more and much stronger. At the same time, it is also gaining importance, not only in India, outside India. Many countries of the world comes to India to understand the democratic setup of India. It is said that people in India or citizens of India have the widest chance of democracy compared to any other all over the world. England, the origin of democracy, as we call it. America, the first nation to give democratic set form to the world, and now India, the biggest democracy of the world. All these nations have given a unique value of respecting each other equally. As we study in the French Revolution, equality, fraternity and unity. This is something which is to be taught at a young age to the students. And these students, as they grow along with certain values, that is why we find that value education becomes an integral part up to standard 10. All the schools have specific time allotment for the value education. The stories from Panchatantra, Jataka tales, or even from the epics are being provided placement in syllabus, so that the output will always be in the mode of positiveness. This positiveness becomes an integral part, or this positiveness becomes a part of one's ideology. Giving respect to others as the same as we need is taught, though at the class, but slowly becomes a part of one's life. And the behavior pattern dictates the respect to all religions as one and the same. That is the biggest aspect of strengthening a democracy or objective of the education of India today. Hope you understand till here. Thank you. We will carry on in next.